purpose of this video is to look at a manufacturing case study and compare the traditional manufacturing approach with an approach that utilizes a lean philosophy. The goals of lean are to eliminate waste and create flow. Waste is defined as things that do not add value to the product and things that the customer will not pay for. Some examples are defects in the product, or producing more product than is required. Waiting for something to happen is a waste of time, or not properly utilizing the talent of your employees is an intellectual waste. Transportation does not add value to the product and is a waste. Excess inventory is a waste of money. Moving things without changing the product adds no value. Making things better than the customer requires is also a waste. All of these things add to the cost of producing the product and slow down the flow. Now let's look at our case study. Today we are going to look at the manufacture of wire baskets commonly found in freezers. They begin as coils of wire that are fed into a wire mesh welder. The outcome of that operation is a flat wire mesh, which is then formed up into a basket shape, and a ring is then welded around the top of the basket. Weld splatter is removed from the basket in a finishing operation, and the basket is boxed and then shipped to the customer. Let's look at this process in a little more detail. The first operation is the mesh welder. The mesh welders automatically pull wires from numerous coils and spot weld these wires together at the points where the wires intersect to form a flat mesh. These are then stacked on pallets. Each pallet contains 360 meshes. The pallet of meshes is then transported to the warehouse by fork truck, where it is stored until needed by the next operation. The fork truck delivers the stack to the forming station when required. In this example, each stack waits in the warehouse for 14 days. At the forming station, the meshes are unstacked individually and the four sides of the baskets are formed on a press brake. Note that the formed baskets are much harder to stack on a pallet and take up much more space. Each pallet of flat meshes create 12 pallets of formed baskets. These pallets are then returned to the warehouse to await the welding operation. In this example, the stacks of formed baskets stay in the warehouse for an average of 10 days. Pallets of formed baskets are delivered to the welding and finishing operations, where rings are welded to the top of the baskets and weld splatter is removed. At this point, the baskets are boxed and staged for shipping. Product is generally shipped within 1 day. This lean tool is a spaghetti diagram, and it's used to show the actual intensity and complexity of the product flow. For this case, it's estimated that the operation will require 89 fork truck moves to support the production of 1,000 baskets daily. This is another lean tool called a value stream map. It is a concise methodology to illustrate the entire product flow with details. Note that mesh welding works 3 shifts. Forming takes place on a single shift, and welding and finishing occurs on 2 shifts. Utilization of all 3 operations is over 90%. When considering flow, recognize that it takes 31 days to get a basket out of the facility, even though it only has 2.4 minutes of actual labor content to produce a basket. Let's relook at our flow. Notice all of the stacking, moving, and storage fits our definition of waste. A lean approach would reconfigure the tools into a cell to eliminate these wastes. Now, what do I mean by a cell? A cell would be created by relocating the forming machine and the weld and finish operations close to the mesh welder. You would connect these stations with conveyors. You would create a two-person team to perform all three tasks, thereby eliminate all the inter-operation fork truck transportation and the work in process storage. The flow would be that when a mesh comes off the mesh welder, it would be conveyed to the forming station where an individual would form the box and then convey it to the weld and finish station where the ring would be welded on, the weld splatter would be removed, and the finished basket would be sent to shipping. Let's recap. Using the traditional approach, it takes 31 days to fill an order. Under the lean model, we could complete that in 1 day with a 20% labor reduction. Warehouse requirements fall by over 23,000 square feet, and work in process falls from 422 pallets under the traditional method to 50 pallets under the lean method. It's also possible to identify any problems that you might have with the mesh welder immediately instead of finding issues on parts that have sat in a warehouse for 14 days. By implementing the lean model, we create flow, we eliminate waste, we're more responsive to the customer, and have significant cost reductions that can go directly to the bottom line. This high-level case study was prepared to illustrate how radical changes in thinking may make the impossible possible. Initially, the management team that oversaw the operation, which filled orders in 31 days, would think it impossible to fill orders in a single day, but by removing the waste from the system, it was possible with improved quality and at a lower cost. The Innovanet team is staffed with industrial engineers and Lean Six Sigma black belts that can help you achieve radical changes in your operation. If you have questions, please feel free to contact us. Thank you for your time.